And welcome to my top 10 Halloween inspired teaching pieces. Just to preface this, I have deliberately decided to steer away from the sort of typical movie film scores, such as the Halloween theme, purely because I found from experience students will do the first 8 bars and then get quite bored once the bit that they really recognise is gone. So instead, I've actually opted to choose 10 pieces which might not have necessarily been written with Halloween in mind, but they all do have that sort of menacing sound about them. They're all of a reasonable length, so students won't start them and then get bored. They all develop different skills, and they have been definitely the most successful pieces that I have taught over the last 10 years. What I'm going to do now is jump on the piano and play through a short extract of each piece so you can hear them. I would say that they range from beginner to around grade 5, similar to my autumn inspired teaching pieces video. But again, if I do have any students who are grade 6, 7 or 8 sort of level, then I would literally just give them one of these pieces as a sight reading task. Piece number 1 is a piece called Run, which is written by myself. The reason I love to teach this piece is because it uses almost all of your fingers in the right hand and the left hand. It's a fantastic way to introduce hands together playing for the first time as well, because whenever the right hand plays its thumb is where the left hand plays a new note, so it's a really great way of sort of establishing hands together playing easily, so it's perfect for literally even just a starter lesson. I often find that students become quite obsessed with playing this over and over and over because they say it sounds like a sort of movie film score. Piece number 2 is a piece called Pumpkin Boogie, which is part of the Piano Adventures series. The reason I like this piece is because it's a great way to introduce the quaver rest. The left hand bass part sounds a little bit like Hit the Road Jack, that bum, 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 bum. It's got that sound to it, so straight away students often like it. It's got lots of accidentals, chromatics, and also the right hand jumps up an octave at the end and then up again another octave, so it looks really impressive. Piece number 3 is a piece called Goosebumps, which is also written by myself and is in my playbook. I'll put the link down below. So the reason I like teaching this piece is because it's in 3/4 time. It sounds like a spooky waltz, sort of like a spooky fairground ride kind of vibe. The right hand has a strong melody, so there's lots of scope for phrasing. There's a DC Al coda, so that's perfect for discussing structure. And also the series of notes in the right hand at the end kind of spreads across 2 octaves, so that also sounds quite impressive too. Piece number 4 is one of my favourite teaching pieces of all time, and it is, of course, Burgmüller's Arabesque. The reason I like teaching this piece is because it's in 2/4 time. It's a fantastic way to develop both right hand and left hand dexterity because of those fast semi-quavers. It's also a great way to develop speed and therefore control as well. The right hand jumps around a lot and there's lots of articulation and expression. Piece number 5 is a piece called Autumn Leaves by Linda Nearmath. It's currently in the RTM Grade 2 syllabus. The reason why I like to teach this piece is because, well, there's no sharps or flats in the key signature, but there's plenty of accidentals. The left hand has a broken chord pattern which uses minor thirds, and the left hand is also up in the treble clef, which reading that is a skill in itself. Now, although at the start of the video I did say I was going to steer away from movie scores, I could not put together this video and not include this piece. The reason why I like to teach this particular arrangement of Hedwig's theme is that it's not too long. It's literally just the main tune, and then it's done. So it's a one-page piece. Students don't get bored. It's the bit that they can sing to. So that's reason number 1. Number 2, you're in 3/8 time, so it's a great way to talk about that. The left hand has a nice broken chord pattern. There's tons of accidentals as well, and students love it. Piece number 7 is a piece called Phantom of the Keys from the Piano Adventures series. The reason I like to teach this piece is because it's in the key of A minor. The left hand's got lots of staccatos, there's lots of grace notes too, so that's a great way to develop that technique. There's chromatic scales, and also there's a del segno al coda too, so that's a great way to talk about structure. Piece number 8 is a piece called Witch's Dance by Kullak. The reason I like to teach this piece is that it's in 3/8 time with a animated tempo. You're in the key of A minor, which is obviously always a nice friendly key to play in for beginners. There's contrast between legato and staccato playing, and there's lots of accents as well. Piece number 9 is another one of my favourite teaching pieces of all time, and it is Bergmüller's Ballad. The reason I like to teach this one is that it develops left-hand dexterity. There's lots of right-hand staccato. There's a parallel key shift as opposed to a relative one, so it's a great way to talk about that. And there's lots of scope for phrasing in the B section because of the long sort of sweeping right-hand melody. Piece number 10, and again, I've said this is the 3rd time I've said this video, but this is one of my favourite teaching pieces of all time. I think the reason I've said that so much today is because I just love pieces that sound sinister, are in a minor key, are based around pattern, are fast and rapid. I loved that when I was a kid, and it's never really changed, to be honest. I noticed that my students really sort of love them too and really get on board with this sort of thing. But it is another Bergmüller piece, and this time it is The Storm. Now, The Storm isn't from the 25 progressive etudes that the other 2 pieces I've mentioned today are from. It's actually part of a different collection of 18 etudes, which are sort of tailored to the more advanced player, I would say around grade 5 standard. The reason why I like teaching this piece is it's a great way to develop pedaling, expression, voicing, speed, control. Now, when you talk about speed with this piece, what's lovely is that actually you can kind of choose the speed you'd want to go at. You can do it that little bit slower to make it easier, or you can really just go for it. It really doesn't matter. Either way, it sounds great. So that very much concludes my top 10 Halloween inspired teaching pieces. If you've got any pieces of this style that you really love to play yourself or teach yourself, please comment below. If you've got any questions, again, please comment. If this has been interesting to you, please like and subscribe as always, and I will see you next time. Bye.